such a much better run off turn 2 than Kurt Busch did in the 22.
When they had chrome bumpers, we used to call that the chrome horn. Not that you could hear a car horn out here.
Not here.
Jimmie Johnson leading Kyle Busch by 1 full second in the Jeff Berg 500 presented by Food City. Welcome back to NASCAR on Fox. Today's aerial coverage provided by GoDaddy.com. Move all those haulers and imagine a football gridiron in the center of that infield and have this place filled to the rafters. Wow. That might be something to see.
What a place.
Jimmie Johnson out in front of Kyle Busch by 1 second right now. You know, it took Jimmie a long time to find the handle here. In his first 13 starts, he led only 43 laps. Then he dominated until the Busch brothers came along. Kyle Busch stellar here and flawless yesterday. Kevin Harvick sitting in third, 1.7 seconds back. And Casey Kane trying to lap past AJ Allmendinger. Kane 2.4 off the lead. In the number 4, Martin Truex has led a bunch here today. He's led the most laps so far. But right now he's in 5th, 3 seconds off the leader.
Pole sitter Carl Edwards clawing his way back toward the top 5, right now back in the 6th position.
And Kurt Busch running in 7th. He's about 4.5 seconds back.
We can't run the top because we're just way too loose on exit. If we could ever get our front ends to turn, we wouldn't have to do it this way. 10 more, man. Just hang in there. We'll keep working on it.
Yeah, that's what the driver wants to hear. I mean, you want to hear the crew chief say, don't worry, we got something. We think we can help you. We think we can fix it. That's part of that being a good salesman thing.
Paul Menard in 8th, 5 seconds back. Menard has led today. First time he's led at Bristol. He's led 35 laps. Juan Pablo Montoya in 9th, 6 seconds from the leader. And good run for Bobby Labonte, who's in 10th.
Kind of interesting because back in the day, if Hammond would have talked to me on the radio, I would come on the radio and say, do not talk to me. I don't have time to talk to you. So we had a code. 1 was no and 2 was yes on the radio. Click it once, that was a no. Click it twice, that was a yes. So I didn't have to spend time talking to him I didn't have time. I was trying to get my breath most of the time.
Wow. Riding with Tony Stewart, who is 11th after starting 13th. He's about 7.6 seconds back.
Tony's led over 1,300 laps at this place, but only has that 1 win.
And Matt Kenseth is 12th. He's 8 seconds from the lead. Second among the Fords in the race. Ryan Newman, who led earlier, Newman 13th. He started 21st. Right behind him, David Reagan. Reagan started 5th. He's been running top 15 just about all day.
I don't know if anyone has worked any harder on a car than Jeff Gordon's team in that 24 car. He has clawed his way back inside the top 15. He's 15th right now.
And right behind him is his teammate Mark Martin. Kristen.
Mike, Larry, Darrell, you mentioned holding your breath. Well, Mark said the demanding part here happens when you have long green flag runs. We're getting close to a 100-lap run. Mark Martin says that's the point in this race where it takes your breath away.
And it really does. You don't realize you're probably entering a corner here at 150 miles an hour. You get down that little short, and when you drive off into that banking, it compresses you down in the seat. It makes it hard for you to breathe. And you get your breath when you come up out of the corner just for that short, brief moment as you shoot down these straightaways. So breathing, I've said it many a time, you got to remember to breathe.
Biffle 17th, Joey Logano 18th. Working past his teammate Denny Hamlin, who's 2 laps down. Now there's Marcus Ambrose 19th and Dale Jr. 20th.
Remember, Dale Earnhardt Jr. went a lap down, got the free pass about 100 laps ago, clawing his way back.
Next comes Trevor Bayne and Clint Boyer. Bayne in 21st position. He had a battle with Regan Smith that went for about 50 laps. Finally settled in favor of Bayne.
Yeah, actually Trevor was doing a pretty good job, and he got into turn 3 just a little too hard up high, scraped the right side of that car up a little bit. Doesn't seem to have hurt it all that much, but I know it did take a little speed out of it.
Our American Ethanol camera on Clint Boyer's car. He is the last car on the lead lap in 22nd place. Car in the free pass position is Regan Smith, the first car 1 lap down. Jimmy Johnson trying to run things his way at Bristol.
Catch the Dominator if you can. To be continued on NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is presented by GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything in between.
234 laps coming up on halfway. What a battle we've been watching. Jimmy Johnson has been trying to lap Clint Bowyer and Trevor Bayne, and that caused a little sense of urgency on Boyer's part. A couple laps ago he got into Trevor and almost shoved him the length of the front straightaway. Could not pass him, and the leader is still trying to get past those two. So with that, let's go downstairs for an AT&T race break.
Mike, with Jeff Hammond, and of course the 20-year-old Tennessee native got a great roar from the crowd introduced here. But on lap 28, he was involved slightly with Jeff Burton in that wreck, but he's currently running 21st.
I think he's making a really good showing himself. This is a very difficult racetrack right now. He's trying to hold off our leader, Jimmy Johnson, right now. He's running the high side. Jimmy's trying to work the low side. He's going to try to keep him from being able to slide up in front of him. Right now, he's been able to do it.
And at lap 192 is when Jimmy Johnson became the 8th different leader. One more victory in this race, one more career win, and he would tie Lee Petty. It's been a while since a concrete track win. 11 races for Jimmy Johnson, but we know he has good history here.
Yeah, and right now Jimmy's running, a picture perfect race. He's just being very methodical. He's not forcing the issue. Look at that race car, pretty clean. He's not roughing anybody up. He's showing patience right now, but he's up on that wheel trying to make it happen.
Ahead of Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. And what about Casey Kane running fourth?
All of a sudden these guys are starting to find their rhythm. Casey qualified 10th, but he worked his way up through the field, and currently he just looks like he's on a Sunday drive out there. But I've been watching his lap times, and he's been able to reel in those front 2 or 3 cars right there. So he's definitely getting back up there closer in competition, maybe challenge for the lead.
Kurt Busch moving into 5th, Carl Edwards to 6th, and Carl had been moving upward.
Yeah, he had been doing a pretty good job. He'd been changed his line around, been up against the wall, looked like he picked up some speed, and again, a lot like Casey Kane was making his way forward. But just a second ago, Kurt Busch caught him and pretty much, went by him with ease.
And what can we expect with green flag stops expected here soon?
I tell you right now, it's going to put a lot of pressure not on these drivers, but on these crew chiefs to make sure their drivers know that, hey, green flag stops, buddy. You come down on either the front stretch if you're on the front side. But our leader, he's put on the back straightaway, so Chad Canals needs to make sure Jimmy Johnson understands. Come off the turn 2 to come to the pits.
Man, if you want to get in on the action, text the car number to the number that you think will average the least amount of time on pit road. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. 243 laps and a long way to go here in Bristol, where they once played an NFL preseason game in 1961. But today, it's all about NASCAR.
We're back in Bristol under caution. Jimmy Johnson wins the race off pit road ahead of Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, and Paul Menard. Let's show you cause and effect at Bristol. You're going to watch the 27 of Paul Menard and the 47 of Bobby Labonte. This is one lap before the caution. They're racing for 9th place. A little bump and run there. Now they're going to come up on Martin Truex. And around goes Labonte.
Yeah. I don't think he did that I don't think that was intentional, to tell you the truth. I know this probably. You know who gets the driver more riled up than anyone? The spotter and the crew chief. Don't let that guy do that to you. Yeah, the crew chief, Larry.
Labonte had been a top 10 car all day. And here comes Tony with Ryan Newman just ahead of him.
Pretty good lick when you see what the damage to the back of the 39 car up there, Ryan Newman.
Now there was a spirited battle for the free pass possession decided in favor of Clint Boyer over Trevor Bayne. So Boyer gets back up on the lead lap. Let's recap pit stops, starting with Steve.
Well, Mike, Jimmy Johnson really liked